Good day, everyone. Welcome to the midweek video. Today, I want to talk about a subject that is near and dear to my heart, and that's the subject of spiritual discipline. In 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7, the Bible tells us, exercise yourself unto godliness. And in my opinion, it's one of the smartest things that any Christian could ever do is exercise themselves unto godliness. So what is spiritual discipline? It's actually the spiritual practice that requires time and effort and energy and patience. It is developing a habit that is spiritually good for you. And so that's what that means. And today I want to mention just a few. There's several types of spiritual disciplines. I'm only going to go over a few of them. Number one, a spiritual discipline that we all should have is praying, and when we're talking about prayer as a spiritual discipline, I'm not talking about a casual prayer here and there, but becoming a student of prayer, learning to pray, spending time praying, making sure you pray every day, cutting other things out so you have the time to pray, and learning just. Everyone's different and everyone has a different experience. You got to find out what works for you and how best it works for you in your relationship with God. Secondly, reading scripture is a spiritual discipline, and it is very important that we all become students of the Word, not a casual reader. Again, not an occasional verse, or, you read something one day and then a week later you read something else, but you discipline yourself to read every day. Now, you're not breaking any laws if you skip a day, but it's developing a reading habit, and you are getting into the Word, and you're being aware. You're reading it slowly. You're reading it for understanding, and you think about how it can impact your life or how you can put it into practice. So that's a second discipline that we really need. And a third discipline is one that I think in our nation, in our culture, we lack, and that's the discipline of fasting. And fasting, I fully believe in. I learned the art of fasting very early, 3 days actually after I came to faith in 1980. And here, 40 years later, I'm still fasting. Sharon and I fast together, and I have fasted long enough that I can honestly say it is incredibly profitable. It is a spiritual warfare tool, and it does wonders for the soul to be able to fast. Nobody likes to, but it is, you learn to like it, and it can do mighty things. It can open up the door to miracles. The big thing that it does is freedom. It brings freedom. So that's another good one to have. Another spiritual discipline is waiting, and we all have to learn how to wait on the Lord, whether you're waiting on prayer, waiting for a season to pass, or just waiting in the moment. And that doesn't come easy, just to sit still and be silent. But the Bible tells us to be still and know God, know that He's God. So that's another discipline. The last discipline I want to talk to you about is meditation. I'm not talking about Eastern meditation. I'm talking about biblical meditation, setting your mind on the things of God, and not only on His nature and character, but on His Word, rehearsing Scripture in your heart and thinking about it. Some of the older people used to call it chewing the cud, but that is so important, reading Scripture. And I also allow freedom to read good literature, good spiritual literature. I love the ones from the 1800s and the early 20th century, 1900s, even in the 50s and 60s. Good literature was written by good men of God, and so that's a good thing. closing, I want to talk about the motive for spiritual discipline. First of all, if you don't practice spiritual disciplines, you are not going to hell. It has nothing to do with your salvation. Spiritual disciplines are works, and we're not saved by works, but we're saved by faith. And so that's not your motive. It's the motive for practicing them is not so God will accept you or receive you. He's already done that. But what spiritual disciplines serve is they give you the ability to encounter God. They give you the ability to see God, to hear God, to be able to walk with God effectively. They bring victory into your life. They bring clarity into your life. So they are oh so important. So I challenge everyone out there, please try, pick a couple of these and get to work on them. Or you might already have some, add some more to your life. You can't go wrong by practicing them. Well, thank you for watching this video, and click the subscribe button if you like the content. And next week, we'll talk to you on a different subject. God bless you.